want to get back to kissing the cheeks of my grandbabies, making Sunday dinner with a house full of family and lots of laughs.
COVID-19 has changed how we live and how we feel. But now, there are vaccines. And they are the very first step that let us get back to what we miss most. It's okay to have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I wait?
Now, get the facts. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
We are back. Estamos de vuelta, mi gente. Qué emoción. I am Rosalind Sanchez.
And I'm Eric Winter.
And this is our podcast.
He said,
Ella dijo.
Hang out with us each week as we discover if we're meant to be or meant to be a
train wreck. This was that. Anyways, he said, Ella dijo is a part of the iHeartRadio My Cultura podcast network.
Listen to He Said Ella Dijo on iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hola amigos, I am Amara La Negra and I'm teaming up with my friend and my co-host Stevie Nunes for a weekly podcast called Exactly Amara. We're exploring topics like dating, sex, relationships, life, la cultura latina, and yes, in each episode, I'll be adding a little sazón, mi amor, the flavor you all know. Así que listen to Exactly Amara every Thursday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Last break of the day. Been a pretty good day, interesting day. And Steve, your closing remarks are back. We love them. What do you have for us today, Steve?
All right. I got something I want to share with you all today.
Okay.
Today, when I woke up this morning, I had because it was Super Bowl weekend and we were in Miami, I didn't do my usual meditation every morning. And I missed about 3 days in a row of my early morning meditation. I always get up. It's something I've been doing for a little while now. I started it last summer. And I very rarely miss a day. I've been very, very happy about that. But the benefit of it is it gives me a moment alone before the hectic part of the day begins. And before the phone starts ringing, and before I used to wake up and look at my emails and my texts and get started. And I stopped doing that. And it has been a big refresher for me in my life because I just felt like I was starting my day wrong. I needed to have some spirituality brought into my life first thing in the morning. And I found that ever since this summer, that's been a very, very important aspect. It's been very calming for me. It has been very, very invigorating. It has helped me change the way a lot of my days start. But that alone time that I spend having my spiritual moment with my Creator is the way I've chosen to do it. I want to tell you all something. If you haven't tried that, give it a try. It's something about the early morning hours before you start hearing traffic and before you turn the TV on or answer emails or texts. It's something about the quiet of early morning before the house starts moving around and plates clanging and stuff like that and doors shutting. It's an amazing time to get in touch with your spirituality. And I suggest just give it a try. It may not be for you. It may not. I don't know you. But it happens a lot. I was reading a scripture once doing this thing, and it was saying, and I'm paraphrasing it because it's showing what it said exactly, but I will come with you in the early mornings and hear your cry. And so it has been very beneficial to me. And this morning in particular, after spending about 3 days not doing it, today I sat down and all I did in my journal, because I have a Bible, I have a daily devotional, I have a journal. All I did in my journal this morning was I began to write out everything I could think of that I wanted to thank him for. I just put a list of things I was grateful for. And the next thing I know, I had filled up 2 pages. I mean, 2 complete pages in my journal. Now it's not a piece of notebook paper, that go on a 3-ring binder, but it's a substantial piece of paper. And I filled it up because I couldn't stop writing. And I was writing everything. I thanked him for safe passage in the airways. I thanked him for my children's health. I thanked him for guidance. I started thanking him for everything that he's done for me that I pray about, and the things that he's done for me that I don't pray about. I thank him for my breath. I thanked him for my measure of health. I thanked him for being able to have a lifestyle beyond my dreams. I was thanking him for the ability to dress myself. I was thanking him for going to the Super Bowl, for having a successful NFL honors, for meeting people, for taking on the mantra of 2020 of no complaints. I just decided in 2020 I didn't want to complain. So I've cut back on that. I haven't stopped completely. I'm catching myself every now and then, but I've cut down on complaining drastically. And I thanked him for that, because instead of complaining, whenever I feel like I want to complain about something, I find a way to be grateful. I find something to be grateful for. So I've replaced complaining with gratitude. Wow. What a game changer. What an amazing mental state that puts you in. If you could exchange complaining for gratitude is a very, very underrated principle of success. Not many people talk about it, but the more grateful you are, the more things God will give you to be grateful for. The more grateful you are, the more things God will give to you to be grateful for. That's a fact. And so I'm suggesting to everybody, get up a little bit earlier and spend 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's start there. The more you can do, the better. But if you could start with 10 quiet minutes with just you and God. And I don't care what faith you're in, just you and God. Just spend some time talking with him, thanking him, telling him what you want, telling him what you need, ask him for the help that you want. But tell him you love him, and tell him you're trying to get it right and you need some help, and tell him what you want and thank him. It's an amazing way to start your day. Just give it a thought, y'all. That's all. Those are my closing remarks. Y'all have a great weekend.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
For all Steve Harvey contests, no purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Participants must be legal U.S. residents at least 18 years old unless otherwise stated. For complete contest rules, visit SteveHarveyFM.com.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Plenty of people start something great in their 40s and 50s. Getting your retirement savings on track is no different. Go to aceyourretirement.org, and in 3 minutes, you'll get personalized tips to help boost your retirement savings. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
News outlets will cover stories differently, but the Black Information Network is fundamentally different. A 24/7 all-news network of writers, anchors, and producers with the goal of keeping you informed about what's happening in the Black community. BINnews.com, bringing you news you can trust. Download the iHeartRadio app now and listen to the Black Information Network anytime, anywhere.
Hola amigos, I am Amara La Negra, and I'm teaming up with my friend and my co-host Stevie Nunes for a weekly podcast called Exactly Amara. We're exploring topics like dating, sex, relationships, life, la cultura latina, and yes, in each episode, I'll be adding a little sazón, mi amor, the flavor you all know. Así que listen to Exactly Amara every Thursday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.